the edge of it all. So tell your good nights, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good nights, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good nights, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Before it flies. So tell your good nights, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Susceptible now before the moment flies. Here we go, put this miserable song on repeat, 'cause you seem to forget how much you are hurting
Shout out
me.
to the CIA.
Do what's right, you say you will, but
One love,
then you
FBI. What's
don't.
going on?
You just don't. You don't
Happy
care,
Friday night,
'cause
people.
you don't take me seriously.
Welcome to
What's there to
something I'm gonna call
if you don't want to
Taboo Topics.
you should
That stuff you are just not supposed to talk about, but we're going to talk about it anyway. You're not supposed to talk about that.
Someone putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip. Thought you knew me so much better.
We're going to talk
You're
about
on a
those taboo
lifetime
topics because if you
sentence.
don't,
So now you never feel my presence. So you thought
How do you
I
ever get
would
any better?
let this slip. Thought you knew me so much better.
how do you get any better? And in my business,
So you thought
it's all about getting better.
thought you knew me so much
It's
better.
all about getting better. It's all about getting better, and it's about getting better for who? For you. You get better for you, and then anybody who you deal with just gets the benefit of you doing all that hard work. So, before we get started, we've got 133 people in here, and we ain't even been in here 5 minutes. You guys must have been saying, oh, I hope the Godfather go live tonight. I got some things on my mind I want to talk about, I want to discuss. I heard you. I got you. I got it. Do me a favor before we get started. You know how we do. Hit the like button, and then I need you to do the big ups. Put your age and your city in the chat room. Age and your city in the chat room. If you wouldn't mind, share if you're a male or female. Godfather, I'm a 25-year-old woman from LA. You know, stuff like that. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. I'm going to let you guys know right now, we are experiencing weather here in the Hotlanta area. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe we go, maybe we don't. But before we get started, I wanted to do something. I want to talk about a few fragrances. A few fragrances before I get into it. Why are you letting people join in? And it's only 9 of them. Only 9 of them. Only 9 of them in '07. We're going to talk about these 9 right here. Guys, there's a line of fragrances called Nasamato. Nasamato, I love this fragrance line because they are dope. Dope, dope, dope. Why are they dope? Because unlike a lot of fragrances, nothing on the market smells quite like Nasamato. They last a long time and they project a long time. And you're not going to smell like everybody. If you watch my video today where I was talking about must-have musks, that's what I'm wearing right now, silver musk. Silver musk. Check out the video I talked about it today. Clean, minimal musk, incredible fragrance. This is another one. This was one that gets a lot of love in the fragrance community. Blamage. Blamage is this Comme des Garçons Man Parfum. This is this dry, kind of inky smell. You don't know the notes in them, but I'm going to tell you guys, this one is a sexy, sexy beast. All of these fragrances are just badass in my opinion, and they're sexy as hell, except for this next one right here. Hindu grass. Hindu grass is anything but sexy, but it's a nice, deep, earthy patchouli. This smells like one of them hippie vegan chicks. Yeah, man. If you ever had a chick that's one of them yoga, Pilates, hot, yeah, that's her. Hindu grass. And you know what? They're cool in their own way. What is the next one I want to get to? Oh, Jesus Christ. I want to talk about probably one of the latest entries to the line, Nutriflorum. This stuff is probably one of the strongest fragrances I have in my collection. Just a dab will do you. Be so careful how you wear this. Boop. Forever. Think about this as sweet scented skin. Sounds weird. Sweet scented skin. But I will tell you, this is great on a spring or summer night. And honestly, everyone I just described is good for men or women. Ladies, you can smell good in this one, Blamage, Hindu grass, and this one. Now we're going to get into the next one, probably the strangest one on the list, absinthe. This absinthe, if you don't know, absinthe is a kind of liquor that was actually restricted in the United States for the longest because they thought it made you have hallucinations and do crazy stuff. This and Straight to Heaven, this and A Taste of Heaven from Killian, along the same line. Anything that has absinthe in it, guys, kind of special to me. Check it out. Now we get into the core of the line. Duro. Manly, beastly, manly, woody fragrance. This stuff is strong and it's so good, so masculine, but it's still kind of in a sophisticated kind of way. All of these fragrances are black tie approved. They smell like they smell grown up. And that's what we're going to talk. And that's the theme tonight. Tonight, we got grown up stuff we're talking about. Borrowanda. See how much of that I use? I'll always have this. This smells straight up like whiskey, tobacco, honey, and bad decisions. Woo. Great one night stand fragrance. Borrowanda. Do not be surprised if a cop pulls you over. They may think you've been drinking. Black Afghano. Smells like some of the best sticky icky in the world. This stuff is killer. Oh. Gucci Intense Oud. It's a nice, more wearable version of this. Carno Barcelona Cuir. Cuir. But I just like the OG original even better. And I'm going to slide this down to the side. And for my last, but least, and my most favorite on the list, Pardon. Sexy fragrances that drive women nuts. That's this one right here. This vanilla tonka bean. You know what? Shit, damn that. I like it so much. We're just going to put a little on to get me through the night. Oh, so good. So good. Every time I wear it, people are just like, God dang, what are you wearing? And I like those because you can actually put the little travel cap on them. It comes with a little travel cap that you can put on instead of the big bulky cap. You can just throw it in your backpack or something and have it with you all day. Oh, since they're here, let's talk about them. My secret weapon fragrances. All right, let's take these two at a time. This line, in my opinion, doesn't get enough love. Armani Privé. This one right here, Bois d'Encens, Catholic incense. Think of Comme des Garçons Avignon. This, if you're a Catholic, this will take you back home. One of the best incense fragrances on the planet. After this one, incense satin, amber incense. I love this stuff. Amber vanilla incense. This is an incense lover's dream right here. Not everybody likes incense. I love them. And Armani Privé does them right with both of those. Now, incense satin is actually limited, so it may be hard to get a hold of. Let's get next. Amber, the eccentric amber. A really sweet, unique take on a dry amber. Probably one of the most unique ambers in my collection, and I have a lot of ambers. I'll be focusing on ambers in the fall, but this one, guys, so good in the fall and the spring. But this one right here, leather amethyst, clear amethyst, probably one of the most unique fragrances out there. So underrated. This line does not get enough love, in my opinion. I'm going to do a standalone review on the entire house, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it before we get to the video, because these are grown damn people fragrances. There's no teeny bopper, no kiddie stuff here. Put the kids to bed. This is for grown-ups. Now, the title of this video was almost like things your mama or your daddy should have taught you. But we've already done that. All right. Next, the next three are the bangers. The gold ones are the bangers. Myrrh Imperial. If you like Joe Malone, Myrrh and Tonka, you'll love this one. One of the best myrrhs on the planet because it's infinitely wearable. It's not overly dry, very kind of sweet, playful, sophisticated. Armani just does it right. And then my most complimented fragrance of 2018, Armani Rose DRB. Even fragrance lovers lost their mind on this stuff. One of my favorite amber fragrances, and a lot of you guys, one of my favorite rose fragrances. A lot of people still are not wearing this. You're nuts. But we're going to put this one over here because I already talked about it earlier today. Musk Chamal. Ooh, Armani Musk Chamal, one of the best musks out there. Oh, gosh. Guys, I love musk because musk smells great on women, smells great on men. But Musk Chamal, great. Both of these lines, great. You probably can't get much of Nasamato, but you can run up to Neiman Marcus and holla at Armani Privé. So let's get into it. Taboo topics. Taboo topics. Taboo topics. What are taboo topics? Anybody want to tell me what taboo topics are? What are taboo topics? Taboo topics. Let's see. Miss Ann syndrome. I still don't know if I want to tip into that one. Miss Ann syndrome. What's that? Do sisters really envy and want to be like Miss Ann? There's a strong argument that can be made about that. From an image standpoint, for sure. Miss Ann ain't trying to put y'all's hair on. Another taboo topic, intercultural dating. The question, I've said this before, but you want to see the average, you want to see people tear each other's heads off, just talking about race, especially talk about dating in between the races. And folks lose their mind. In particular, black women, when it comes to white women, it becomes irrational. From its standpoint, for sure, it becomes irrational. It's like you can even if you have a good, solid, fundamental, a good, solid, logical argument, it's going to go off the rails a lot. That's probably the biggest one. Then there's always the thing about weight, body weight, size. That's another one of these third rail conversations. Intimacy, the whole topic of sex. And then one I did not put on there because I didn't want to get the video flag because you can't even talk about this kind of stuff. You can't even put it in the video titles. Talking about something that we discussed earlier today. Older men dating younger women. Older men dating younger women, and older women lose their mind. So let's talk about it. Why are these such taboo subjects? Why are these such taboo subjects? Let's pick the top three. Older men dating younger women, interracial relationships, and I think the Miss Ann syndrome. I think those are the top three. I think weight, you know, I think there's some folks that can kind of just get past weight. Some women actually like their weight. Sex. I think folks can kind of weave through that one too. But when I was listening back on some of the previous shows I had some of my editors, my sound guy, and people just listen over things, man, the thing that kept coming up was a lot of sisters, man, feel like it's not fair to compare them to the white. They don't. I say your non-black counterparts. Understand something. Watch this. When I say your non-black counterparts, I'll get one reaction, Mr. Bowtie. But if I say white women, Mr. Bowtie, I will get a completely different reaction. It's taboo if you're not in a position of leverage. No, even there is no leverage. No, it's taboo. Period. I don't know any black men that can discuss white women with black women and not have that be a taboo topic. But why is it not? They got an entire movement swirling. They can swirl and nobody talk about it. It's all celebrated. We're going to Italy and have a good time. But a black man can't even talk about dating Becky or Karen before you're a sellout, you this, that. Sisters can openly talk about dating younger men, be they cougar or whatever. But if you have the nerve to even marry a younger woman, you some sort of predator. Why? Why? And the reason I asked, I said this. A whole host of other things that serve as very real wedge issues between the two sexes in modern times. And if the subject can't even be discussed, how are the two sides supposed to get along? Let me tell you something. Other groups of people, other races don't care about this shit like we do. They don't. Because for the most part, other races like each other. The men and the women like each other and generally have respect for one another. JL, Kevin, can I call you for your advice? Yeah, here you go. The advice line is right there. You can go ahead and hit that for a 15-minute, 30-minute, or an hour session. Yep. You can have your specialized advice. But you can't call into the show just to get advice that's off the subject. Don't do that. But I want to know one thing. I know one thing. It's because on your last topic of weight, that made me start to go hard in getting rid of this fat because you weren't lying. No one should ever be over 100 pounds overweight. Well, yeah. And see, okay, here's a question. I need for the sisters to answer this question. I could care less. If he wants it like a younger woman, interracial, otherwise, he isn't the man for me anyway. Why would you say that, Laverne, Philly girl? See, when I hear that stuff, you know what I hear? You know what other men hear? Anger, disgust. I mean, what are you trying to say? If he wants a younger woman or a white woman, he ain't the man for me. Well, maybe you weren't good enough for him. See, I hear black women say that all the time. If you want this, he ain't for you. Well, we gotta have the conversation. A lot of you women are saying that from a position of never being married. never being officially engaged. If no man has ever dropped to one knee in public, presented a ring of significant heritage, and proposed to you, you're not single by choice. And we got so many women who are talking about what a man ain't for them, like you really got real options. It almost borders on delusion. It's like, if you have, it's Friday night, but if it was non-CV, if you actually had 5 straight up CIA men in your phone trying to holler at you to take you out to Ruth Chris or Foco the Child or take you away for or a weekend, then we could talk. But a lot of ladies who make those points, you ain't even had nobody take you out to Golden Corral or Applebee's. So do respect the nerve of that kind of comment. Too easily triggered and wearing buttons on their sleeve. Yeah. And the thing is, you open, for the woman who made that comment, you open yourself to controversy and chaos when you make that statement. Because it's like you're looking for a problem. Thank you, ladies. Now it's an ego thing. Many women have very big egos. Let's talk about that right there. Many black women have very big egos, and by the very definition, that is a masculine thing. Women should not have large egos. So when we have taboo topics, if the men of your group can't talk to you about it, other people ain't going to talk to you about it. They don't care to talk to you about it. How are you supposed to have any guide rails? How are you supposed to know what you're supposed to be doing to make you viable to black men? Because we're talking about black women. What black men do you listen to? Because shame and that kind of stuff has gone completely out of the black community. And it also comes back down to this conversation. Who leads? Who leads? Who leads? In the black community, black women, whose male leadership are you under? That's not a pastor or an employer. Whose leadership are you under? Who's not a pastor or an employer? Whose leadership are you under after you left your father's house, if you were even raised by your father? 8 out of 10 black children are raised without a father. Stands to reason 80% of black women have never been under male leadership. The first time you encounter male leadership is in like the teachings, not even in teaching, in the work world. And those men tend to not be black. Where's the first time you actually encounter black male authority? In the bedroom. Which is why sex is such an outsized part of the conversation in the black community. I'm not going to really deal with sex today. I don't care. Move that up to the side today. Because there gets a point in time where when you 40, 50, 60 years old, you don't need to be talking about sex all the time. You should have had enough of that. What's next? What's next? What's next? What is next? Because when it gets right down to it, I'm still under my father's leadership. Good. DJ Moretti, I don't know who you are, Let me go ahead and help you out. You seem like a troll to me because every time you, okay, thank you. If you're not a troll, no problem. But when I see what looks like a baby picture or something, I can't even tell. I don't have time for it. Thank you. How many people would think it would be better if sisters actually went to college specifically to find a husband? Specifically to find a husband. And then, and if you couldn't find a husband while you're in college, you went back home and lived with your dad. How many are you willing to do something like that? Not many. A lot, many. I mean, maybe for younger women. But this is why we get to the point of taboo topics, because it's just my opinion, because so many black women and black men have been, by the time you start listening to us, you're already an adult. And the average black male image in your mind has no real authority. Has no real authority. Black women are trying to get on the VP ticket with Joe Biden. The Democrats will lose. Nobody gonna vote for a black woman for black men aren't gonna vote for a black woman for VP. They'll say they will, but they're not going to. It's gonna have the Bradley effect. But where we're at right now is taboo topics. And the reason I wanted to ask this question is why I'm going to talk about why or how can you have if you can't have a conversation, if you want men to step in their leadership positions, and men should lead and protect you and all this other kind of stuff, great. Which men, who are you following right now? Because what you can't say is, we'll follow after men get themselves together. No, that's not how it works. You can't say that. We'll follow after men get themselves in their way. Lord Keith and Kevin. Okay, DJ. Yeah. My father and mother were married to one another and raised together. Right now, I'm under my uncle's leadership and covering. A woman should always have proper. You know what? I'm going to open the show up for the ladies to call in. I'm going to open it up for the ladies to call in because what men can actually, the whole notion of taboo topics is what men can tell you the hard truth. Who can tell you the hard truth? Who can tell you what you need to see or what you need to hear? That's really the question. Who can tell you? Because sadly, far too many have no one can tell them. You talking about Billy Boy, fake butts. What you talking about, man? I mean, they're just talking crazy. My mom wants me to find a black woman. We said it's amazing how women of other cultures respect black men. Why? It's not amazing to me. So they've been told to go find a good man. They've been told that men are worth something. Unfortunately, baby boomers told the Generation X daughters, you don't need no man. Generation X women told millennials some of the same thing. You got 3 generations of this stuff. And now the chickens have come home to roost for many. And the very women who had stopped working for Generation X, you don't hear these women en masse saying, anything different. They're doubling and tripling down. That's why you see cocktails and queens. And I find it interesting that when they were talking about C.J. King, they kept calling this this law school graduate man boy. They kept calling him boy, 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 boy. But yet you still had these older black women talking about going to Italy for what, hot girl summer, for sex tourism in Italy. So let me get this straight. Instead of, it's so bad for you, you got to go to Europe to have sex with Italian men, like someone's going to marry you over there. Come on. All right, so 451 people. Let's get the likes up. Here's what I don't want to have to happen. I really want the women, because who can tell you, like, who was the lady that said, I'm under my uncle's leadership? Women choose wisely because when a man leads a woman, choose him, she must be willing. Hold on. Women choose wisely because where a man leads a woman, choose him, she must be willing to lead. Laverne, I need you to call in because you give a lot of advice to women, and I'm wondering, who are you? Who are you? And if you said your mother and father are married, but you're under your uncle's leadership, well, he's not doing a good job because you're very masculine. You haven't won, ma'am. You're not anyone's wife. So why are you giving advice to women? Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right is something that really, really festers with. The need to be right is something that's really firmly entrenched in the black community, in particular with our women. Who is this in the chat room? It's notorious for racism. They're not going there for they're not going there for marriage. They're going there for hey, Miss how do you pronounce your name, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Hedalise.
Say again, dear.
Hedalise.
Hedalise.
Yes.
That's unique. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's your cute self? I'm not gonna put you on camera though.
That's fine.
Go ahead. What you got for me? And tell me where I'm wrong, too.
So
tell me. Here's the thing. I'm not going to cut your head off. I know some women are like, Jesus Christ. Let's just talk.
Yeah. So I'm 22.
Okay.
I live in Jersey. I went to college, graduated.
Okay.
And currently working in New York. Okay. And I just wanted to say that your videos have definitely helped me out a lot.
Really?
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was when you mentioned the thing about weight. So at my heaviest, I was 190 and I'm 5'4". Mm-hmm. So that's like way too much.
Right.
And I've been able to lose 20 pounds now. So now I'm 170 and kind of working towards getting down.
Right.
So that's been very helpful. I think that I've even seen more options open up for me just because I look more feminine now that I've lost more weight.
Right.
So definitely that's been good. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's a good thing because you said you've lost 20 pounds. Imagine what happens when you get to your target weight. Can you imagine the options you're going to get? Because you have very feminine features. And then I don't know if anyone's ever told you, but that little gap right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love that.
Really?
Yes. I was put up on this. It was I don't forgive me to my African brothers. I don't want to a jabroni, a jerome, or something. In the 80s, brothers from the continent came over and said, we seek women with that little gap because those women with the little gap, it's just something about the passion level. And I was like, what? But then I started kind of put that in the back of my mind. And I started to notice that women that had that little gap right there seemed to do much better. Men flock to that. And then that's your natural hair?
Yeah, this is my natural hair. That's interesting because I was thinking about getting rid of the gap
No, don't do
with
that.
braces.
No. You got nice clear skin. Yeah, you definitely have something to work with. So are you actively dating in Jersey?
Yes, I actually have a boyfriend.
Okay.
Yes, and he's what you would call a Henry. So if that's
There
nice.
you go. So how long you guys been together?
So far we've been dating for 6 months. He's met the parents. I'm going to meet his parents in July after this whole coronavirus thing is over and done with.
Right.
And it's kind of like what you say. He does talk about marriage.
There you
early
go.
on.
See? Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Men, he met your family and you're going to meet his later?
Yeah, he met them.
See? Men who are serious about marriage, they move differently. Let me know when the baby's due.
No.
So do you want to be a stay-at-home wife or do you want to work or what?
Yeah, so I spoke to him about that. I think that that's one of the things that I want to do. I definitely want to take care of my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
is he supportive of that?
He is supportive of that. That's what his mom did. That's what my mom did. So he does see that as a
So
positive
your
thing,
mom
which is
and
good.
his mom were stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So your sounds like you got a very workable situation. One of the things I always suggest to my female clients is one, stay around women that help keep you in your feminine, who are on that soccer mom kind of thing. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, make working out a part of your job, of your life. Working out
Right.
and eating healthy, because if you're going to be a mom, you want to, you want to also have kids that are healthy too. So,
Mm-hmm.
men pay a premium for cooperation, and a beautiful wife and a great set of kids. So I got a good workable situation, and I'm glad to hear a young woman call and say that, because I get so many older women who just want to argue with me. I'm like, well, thank you for calling in and keep in touch.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Have a good
Bye
one.
bye. See you guys. Let me go ahead and bounce you off there. Yeah, guys, I try not to put people on camera if I don't have to. Um, I, in my profession, I work under a non-disclosure agreement. So if there's no reason to disclose anybody who's not already disclosing themselves, we don't. Yeah, she was really attractive. And see, let me also speak to that. When I talk about weight, all men are really looking for, ladies, is accountability on your side and then action on your side. She said it. She said it helped me. I started to lose weight and I noticed things happen. Men are more than willing to work with women who are already doing the work. We don't need you perfect. We are not perfect. We are far from perfect. I am far from perfect myself. Um, we just need to see that you know what you need to do. So when we go run this way, we can trust that you running your way and doing your thing. I have anxiety listening to people arguing around. That's all right, Jessica. Jessica loves pink. See, what I've noticed is I have a lot of what's going on. What I noticed is I have a lot of married or in relationship women that listen to this show. How do I know that? Because I get the emails and the comments from women saying, I listened to your show with my boyfriend or with my husband. Didn't want to call in, but I'm like, wow, I don't. So the message seems to be resonating, and I would say that blue collar show. A lot of men were. It was very well received from a lot of guys. And let me explain something, ladies. A lot of men reached out and said, "Thank you, thank you for speaking up for blue collar men, because we do feel like we get left out or left out or left out, or people look over us, and a lot of guys who feel feel some kind of way about working in a blue collar job because white collar jobs have more quote unquote prestige, which is all bullshit for the most part. Um, a lot of white collar jobs have prestige with no real pay. What's going on?
How you doing, Kevin? Can you hear me?
I am. Did it just allow you to
Yeah.
pop right in the guest room?
Uh, I guess isn't this supposed to be like a white screen normally?
No. Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it short. You know early conversation in regards to this topic taboo.
Mm-hmm.
You think people like a good portion of our people even saying go to an actual therapist or a psychologist therapist or whatever is now in that taboo stage?
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, Kevin, even when I said about the cheapness,
Oh
and
yeah.
at times, oh yeah, even myself, at times I fall in that category a little bit, not much, but I look at the importance, even as entirely we as people, especially as men,
Mm-hmm.
in regards to we cannot be cheap. We pay for everything in this system, and let's say if you're not gonna find the therapist that you feel comfortable with, I said there are some probably black therapists out there, but
Yeah.
like I said, you have to spend money. We don't have to always resort to just their therapy. There are some black people that study and find a way to deal with our issues because
Mm-hmm.
they can relate. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the um the mental illness and needing to seek therapy instead of trying to figure out yourself. It's not no option.
Right.
Because now we have to interact with the opposite sex. And mind you, with black women, I have no issue with them. You know, I expect them to do better, but as a man, we have to operate regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're gonna see it because they know at the end of the day, Kevin, and I know a lot of listeners listening, is that good portion of the male populace that's black will accept assist for anything. They don't hold enough standards for themselves to say, I like you, but I expect you. I'm hoping that you're like this,
Mm-hmm.
But how can I do that if I'm still letting you in? I'm still entertaining you
Right.
aspects. So what the women gonna do? Because they watch us, they gonna continue with the behavior.
Right. Right.
And they just don't get it, Kevin. And that's why you have the red pills, them try to troll you and then get at you because they don't say you are perpetuating their behavior.
Yeah. It's a very good point, man. You know what? I'm going to
Mhm.
touch on that once you get out. But thank you for bringing that up, man. I'm gonna touch on that right now.
All
Thank
right.
you, man. Appreciate it. Chaos brings up a good point. If you notice, I had somebody call the other day, and he was very angry or upset. He's trying to play off that he was angry, but he was upset when I said a man should lead with his wallet. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. I know that I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm an image consultant, and I do end up working around relationship stuff, matchmakers, things like that. But I'm gonna tell you that if the only way you're an alpha male is with your dick, you're not an alpha male. Sexual alphas, that's not really, that's a thing, but it's not the thing. Alpha males are not loners. They're leaders. And somehow we've gotten the whole notion of alpha males as these guys who are just unapologetic, rude assholes that just come through having sex with all the women and the milkmaids and everything else, and then just leaving and going from town to town, taking what they want. Those men were killed. People killed those men. Those men did not live. They were called rogues. As a man, you need to grow up. And if all you have to talk about after 30 years old is your sex game, and you are off, you're not keeping up with the rest of the world. And this happens far too many. Okay, brothers, this happens far too much with us. I listen to a lot of black men, 35 plus, and it's about your game and about your dick and this and that, but you got nothing. You don't have anything on the business side. You got a closet full of Jordans and no suits. And it gets right down to a lot of guys, a lot of brothers, man, if you move sex away, what do you got? And if you're not willing to pay your way, I did a video on Patreon 2 ways ago. You got to buy your way in. A lot of brothers are, and like he said, the brother said, he said this on the show earlier today, and he said cheap. He said cheap, and what he was talking about is we don't want to pay for stuff. We don't want to pay for the counseling, therapy, this or that, and that puts us. It doesn't matter what our reasoning is. It puts us at a disadvantage because other groups want to pay because they don't want it for free. They want what they want immediately, and paying well is one of the best ways to ensure you get it. In the 48 Laws of Power, despise the free lunch, pay full price. Go ahead, Charles.
Woo! What's up, Doctor of Style and Profile?
What's going on, man?
Not much. You've been preaching the true gospel lately. There's too many people, especially in the men department, who are too cheap. They don't want to pay the cost to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
They just want, there's something different when you go to when you get a cheap cheesesteak compared to a Ruth Chris steak.
There you go.
It's going to cost you. It's compared to going to look into a thrift store for a suit compared to going to Brooks Brothers or some other place.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm going to put a two-pronged comment in. One, I agree men lead with their wallet. Men should have a little bit of bravado. Difference between arrogance and confidence. Confidence is something where I have faith in my abilities, where they've been time tested and man approved. Arrogance is speaking from the crack of your ass. You have no idea what you're really doing or what you're capable.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question from earlier about the women, when it comes to the men, see, black women in particular have a big ego, which I do agree is very masculine and not attractive at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very delusional.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what it means to compete because they're lucky that their men have been socialized to take their fat, bad attitude having, non-submissive, non-cooperative, lazy asses.
Right.
Not all. I like it's funny when you said the other day, I'm on POF.
Right.
One chick got mad at me when I put in my comment, in shape women only, please.
Right. Well, they get upset with me too. They can do it.
You can see on my pictures that I work out. Why would I date somebody that's contradictory to my life?
Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know if you've caught some of those shows where I put some of the women who hit me up on Tinder and Bumble.
Oh yeah, I caught it.
It's highlighted in my profile.
250, 300 pounds. Like, you should be goddamn ashamed of yourself for getting to that weight. And then secondly, you should be ashamed of yourself thinking that you're going to get a high tier man and you don't even put yourself on a pedestal.
Right.
With your weight, your body, your clothing, your disposition says a lot about a human being. How can I love and respect you when you don't even do the same to yourself? Your health is not important.
Right.
You're look at it. Like, I'm Jesus Christ. While this COVID time, I met 5 young ladies. Believe it or not, all of them been married except one. Guess what the number one thing is on their mind? I need to get to this damn track. I've been working out, going sneaking to the track.
Really?
When they see me in person, they're like, wow. And that's another thing. A lot of men never had that wow factor when a female first gaze upon them with their eyes.
We're going to have to work on that, man. We're going to have to work on
it. They're going to have to.
All right.
And I'm going to get off of here because I know you got a whole bunch of people listening. Keep giving them the work of God. I appreciate you. Woo! Dr. Style and Profile, everybody.
Appreciate it, man.
Send the man your money. Send your man the chats because this man is telling you the truth. Later.
Appreciate it. Stacy on. Let me ask you something, Stacey. On Kevin, the caller said black women as in all of us. Let me ask you, Stacey. On how should black men speak about black women? Because he said black women. Why does it matter what somebody you don't know said to the point you gotta? I mean, I see you do this a lot. It's like you want black men to speak the way you want them to. This is a man's channel, and I don't. And it's. Do you see white women acting the way the black women do in this regard? Not. It's not all. Not all. Not all. Why do y'all? I mean, why do y'all do that? This is what I mean about good faith. Good faith. Going into interactions with men in good faith or looking to be insulted. They should be specific. No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. You should be understanding is what you should be. You should be agreeable, cooperative, submissive, and understanding. You should give men the benefit of the doubt until it hurts. That's what you should do. Stop telling men what they should do. That's what you should do. That's what all you women should do, especially older women. That's what all of you need to do. That's why you're losing to your white counterparts. Let's just cut out the bullshit. Cut out the Hispanic, Asian, and Middle Eastern. That's why you're losing to white women. They're friendly. Uh-oh. Now we're about to go off the rails. I didn't realize I couldn't observe. See, notice, guys. Remember when I was talking to the other woman that's 42? Are we seeing a pattern here? Argumentative, lacking agreeableness. This is why in there, one of the subjects, don't deal with women over a certain age, because who wants to deal with this? C.J. King got crucified because he said, I am the prize, one word. All it takes is one word with the average Generation X black woman for her to lose her shit and be on you like a pit bull and just lock upon you. So I'm going to do to you what you want to do to us. You come to my show and I allow you free latitude, but you get offended by almost everyone, by so many black men who speak. You've been offended by Donovan. You've been offended by, you wanted to call out Charles. You've called out countless people. Where do you get the right to do that? Why can't you just be cordial and friendly like the woman who was just here before? How's that working out for any of you women? No, you're not mad at all. No, but you're exactly, well, I know exactly what it is. You talk too much. Thank you, Eric. You talk too much. I'm not reading you wrong. Excuse me. No, I'm not reading you wrong. Now you can say that to a lot of people, but since you can't say that to me, I do this for real. You can accept it or not, but reading you wrong, no. Let me help you out right there. I want to hear from the women right now. I'm really not looking to hear from the young guys right now, so hold on. Let me get back on this cheap thing. Black men, for who this applies. Being cheap, men should be bold, ambitious, and generous. If you're not a generous man, you're limiting yourself. And I know far too many men who know they're very cheap. Cheap men have poor outcomes in their generous counterparts. This has been scientifically proven throughout humanity, the animal kingdom. It is a fear-based scarcity mentality. I don't want to go heavy into this, but I need you to understand, if you're a cheap man, you may feel like you're safe. You've told yourself you're frugal and minimalist and thrifty and all these nice words. Same thing that women say when they're BBW. It's just not helpful. When it gets right down to it, no man wants to deal with a contentious, argumentative woman. So for all you women who come onto these spaces and think, all you unmarried women who come over into these spaces giving advice to single women, I need you to stop that. You're unmarried. You are in no position to give advice to any woman. You need to listen, especially if you're over here. You need to focus on you. You're not leading anything over here. The men over here, the men that I attract are men who are movers and shakers. If you want to be in charge of something, go back over there. But over here, you are in a secondary role at all times. You're never going to be my equal. You will always be a helpmeet or support over here. You will always be that to the guys in the chat room too. You don't get to tell the men over here what they should or shouldn't do. If what they say gets on your nerves, shut your mouth and swallow it. Swallow it and deeply. Choke that shit down. Like chalky medicine. And if it starts to bubble up, drink some spit and keep choking it down. Because once you decide you want to speak on your channel. Because if you're unmarried, in a man's space, you're here for male attention. And your goal needs to be to get yourself together, not tell everybody else what they need to do so you can feel like you're something. Now, I'm trying to say that as nice as possible. I don't want to go further than that. But understand what I did not say and how I said exactly what I said. Kev, I'm a blue collar FedEx driver. Should I go to law school to get a high value woman? No, you should go to law school because you want to be an attorney. Women come along afterwards. You don't do anything for women. Women are part of the benefits package. As a man, you have to be able to lead yourself. Here's where we are wrong. If we do things for women just to get women, then they have every right to I don't say they have every right. We're setting ourselves up for failure. And I don't blame women who deal with men like that who are not in their own direction. Men honestly they need to learn. I learned for doing that stuff the wrong way. How did I learn to do the right way? Doing it the wrong way. Thank you, Mariah. I don't try to be overly harsh. But, men over a certain age, over 40, we should be moving in a different way. We should be moving in a way to where men under us can look to us with respect. We should have earned the title of OG. We don't beat our chest and say, I'm an OG. You earn the title of OG by the way in which you carry yourself and the way in which you move. If I'm an OG and I'm not getting what I should get from young men, I can't get mad at the young men. Now, what I can do is I can talk to the young man, but I still have to come at that from a OG perspective. I can't get down in the mud with him and argue with him. You still got to do that. And the same thing, women over 35, you're supposed to be in a leadership position of the younger women. That's your charge. Our charge is to lead the young men. Your charge as middle-aged women is to lead the young women. So taboo subjects. When discussing taboo subjects, everyone has to give people the benefit of the doubt because it is impossible to be specific to everything. It is impossible. And the only people who want people to be specific are folks who really don't want the conversation to be had, or people who want the conversation had on their terms. That is not going into a conversation in good faith. We've all been on the side of somebody who you know is looking to try to trip you up. Aha, gotcha. You can feel when someone's trying to not really do this thing in good faith. So if he says not all, or if he's not specific, so what? Give that man the benefit of the doubt. You want the benefit of the doubt. See, this is another thing I don't understand, especially by middle-aged women. You want middle-aged men to give you the benefit of the doubt. You want us to understand that you grew up being told that you need to go to college and this and that and that. You want us to give you that benefit of the doubt. You want us to give you the benefit of the doubt that you didn't know about a lot of the things, white supremacy, racism, feminism. But okay, you had a kid. You want us to give you want men to give you all kind of benefits of the doubt. Okay, but then you better give men the benefit of the doubt to the hurts also. And you hear this from women in public far more than you hear men. You hear women with children saying they ain't gonna date a man with kids. Trying to talk about taboo topics is inherently fraught with problems and potentially dangerous. But, you know, if you have this happen in your day-to-day life, you should give people credit for the effort. Give people credit for the effort who attempt to tell you things that otherwise people won't tell you. Christian women don't like submission is written in the scripture. Yeah. You should pay a visit to the Arabian Peninsula. Stupid rich people would like to talk to you. Okay. All right. I'm not going to be on here much longer. What I want to do this Sunday is we're going to have a discussion with the men and the women on the panel. Most Christian women think Jesus is their husband. Well, yeah, and see, that whole Jesus thing, and let's talk about that. The Lord, He gave you a brain. He gave you a brain, and to say you're gonna let the Lord work it out, God ain't never told you that to do that. You putting that off on God. Faith without works is dead. No, Brandon, we've already spoke, man. You know, let me just say this. If you called into other shows, great. But please, guys, understand. How can I say this in a nice way? This is not just the contact Kevin time just to talk about what you want to talk about. You know, a lot of, sadly, how many women can honestly say that they think submissiveness is a negative. I think many women view submissiveness as dangerous. It's kind of like in Christians, the meek shall inherit the earth. A meek man. I knew that I had my aggressive mentality had a problem with the word meek when I first heard it, until I had a man of God explain to me meekness is strength under control. To be meek requires the utmost strength. And as a martial artist, I understood that. And as a man of science, I understood that. I was like, oh, it often takes more strength to keep your mouth closed than to just fly off the handle. Submission is your, ladies, it's your superpower. Let me get this, dude. Submission is your superpower. Brandon.
Hello.
You called the other day on my business show, right?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
me.
Are you calling about the topic?
Yeah, it's about the intercultural or
Are you
interracial
dating?
relationship. No, not right now.
Aren't you the guy that was living with your father?
Yeah,
Have you
it's me.
ever had a relationship?
Yeah, I've been in a relationship, but I had a specific question to you.
Go ahead.
Well, one guy I used to watch on YouTube, and also on BitChute, was very strong in his beliefs that the races like black and white should not date, because he felt like there
What's the
was.
question?
Well, do you think that black men and white women should be able
What do you
to
think? What do you think?
marry, be able to
About
date?
this, what do you think?
Well, I think that it's, if there's the love, then yes, but I'm realizing there's a large cultural amount of
And the
people
reason I
who,
asked the question that way, then why does it matter what I think or what the guy on BitChute thinks?
well, I think that you want to discuss taboo
No, I know,
topics,
I
and
asked you. I don't want to see. You're a guy that's trying to find answers, and you need to find answers for yourself. You spend a
yeah,
lot of
well,
time on.
I
Hold on.
am.
Listen to me. I know who you are. You've called into my show on other days outside that. You spend a lot of time on YouTube.
Yeah,
You
true.
need to go spend time. And I told you, you live at home with your father, and you're the guy who's working in unskilled jobs, menial labor.
Yeah.
You've got to. Why are you spending so much time online looking for answers for life that you don't have?
Well, I mean, I figure that the more understanding I have, the better I can do.
It's called analysis paralysis. You're mentally masturbating because this is as close. See, life happens outside, Brandon. You're 27 years old and you shouldn't be living at home with your father. There's no way you should still be trying to get yourself together, working as a librarian, a sandwich artist at Subway, a landscaper, this or that. You're lost. And you spend your time listening to a lot of content versus doing some shit for yourself. Turn off the internet, plug into life. You're too broke to be listening to this much YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're right. At the same time,
I feel.
Yeah.
Men don't feel, we think and we know. This isn't a debate, man.
Okay. I was just calling to talk about the
Right, but what I'm saying is you have no business. Okay, Did you hear what I said? You shouldn't even be calling. You should be focusing on getting your shit together instead of worrying about what some guy on BitChute has to say about interracial dating, then asking me what I think about it when I said, well, what do you think about it? All that should matter is what you think about it. Are you actively dating a white woman right now? Then
No,
what does it matter? Then
but
listen, then it doesn't matter. You're wasting time on stuff that's not here, and your right now life is not together. You're just wasting time looking for issues, and the biggest issue is you in the mirror.
I mean, I feel like I'm addressing. You know, I spend all day working. So I mean, what else are you
You spend
saying
all
that I
day. You
even
spend all
should?
day working. You spend all day working. How much did you make today?
Today I made $90. Yesterday I made
$90.
$100. The day before I made
$90. Listen,
$125.
$90, and yesterday you made $100. Okay, so that's $500 a week at best, 5-day week, and you live in New York City or New Jersey?
I actually live with my dad in Long
Right.
Island. My
Okay,
mom
you
lives
live
in
in
New
New
York City.
York, New York City. Long Island is one of the boroughs.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. I lived in Manhattan. You live with your
Yeah, I
listen.
mean, mhm.
You made $500 a week. Can you afford an apartment?
At the moment,
That's all that
no,
matters
I
is at the
can't.
moment, sir.
I mean, okay, so how am I supposed to get from where you're saying is a great ideal to from where I am? Because I pretty
Listen,
much try. That's
listen.
trying,
First
but
thing you do is you listen. You have no skills at 27 years old. That's a problem that you caused. No one told you to not acquire skills the 10 years since you did you drop out of high school?
no, I did.
Did-
I
okay,
graduated
you
high school.
graduated high school. So what have you been doing in the 9 years since you got out of high school?
Well, I went to SUNY Geneseo and SUNY Stony Brook, and you know, at various times I was doing well. At various times I did poorly and I failed out, and then I went kind of like in a rebellious mode, and I traveled down to Florida, and then I came back home after a while of repenting that sort of rebellion, and then since then I've just been trying to build myself back up, and you know, been working really hard and trying to
I mean
find
working
odd
really
jobs,
hard.
and you
Working
know,
really hard doing what?
well, I mean, comparatively, I guess I've been working hard compared to what I was
Well,
doing.
what
I
you
was
were
like
doing
very
was loser.
against. Well, I was at the time I wouldn't have
Well,
defined
of
myself
course
as
you
a
wouldn't
loser
define
because
yourself
I
as a
would have
loser,
said
but
that.
that's what the world would define you as, a loser. A guy who graduated from high school and dibbled and dabbled in college until he flunked out and then went on a monk mission from here to Florida, hitchhiking there. That's what the world will call you, a loser. 25 years old living at home, you're a loser. That's what the world
Right, and
says. That's what the world says, bro. And you're asking me, how do I get there? Well, the first thing you should do is leave out of your father's house. You have no real pressure on yourself. Your father's allowing you to be a loser. That's why you can spend time.
sure,
Yeah, he is. That's why you can spend time on his internet, on his Wi-Fi, listening to all these programs that you have no direct need for. You need a direct skill that can help you make more than $100 a damn day. That's what you need. You need a
yeah. I mean,
skill. What are you qualified to do?
I have now gotten four. I know you were saying my gardening business, but I have four clients, and I think I'm going to have a lot more clients in the summer. And I think I'll have the work to
What?
make some money.
So gardening doing COVID. Okay. Where did you go to learn to be a gardener?
Well, I left that part out, but at one point before I went to Florida, I was living in Trinidad, and I got a permaculture design certificate, and that's kind of like similar, but really
And
it's
how,
just
okay. Okay. And let's be honest, dude. There's not a lot of gardening work in New York City, in Long Island or other. You aren't making any money. And the only reason you can delude yourself like this is because you live with your daddy.
okay. But how can I find a place to live, you know,
You
if I'm not
you
making money?
well, if you know what the real answer is, I should be talking to your father. I should be telling your father and telling him, put your grown ass out. Because here's how you do it. Necessity breeds invention. How many hours did you work today?
I started at, well, I guess it doesn't sound so good. Well, I started at 12 and I finished at 7. But normally I start earlier. I just didn't have any work.
Okay, so you started at 12 and finished at 7. So you didn't even put in a full 8-hour day with your broke ass. And you should be putting in 16.
Yeah, I've never put in.
So how many different? So when are you going to start listening to the fact that, number one, you're lazy, unskilled, unmotivated?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm
Well, you
listening
guess
to.
is that accurate or inaccurate? You put in a 7-hour day. Do you make enough money to only work 7 hours?
I mean,
That's a yes
the
or no
work.
question, sir.
I mean, no, I don't.
Then why did you stop working at 7 hours?
It's manual, like gardening labor. I was
I
very
don't give a
tired.
shit. Go get another job like the rest of us. I've had 3 or 4 jobs at one time. See, every time I ask you, there's always a woe is me excuse. It's because your father is paying the freight on your ass because you don't have to pay the rent, lights, phone, or groceries or anything. He's letting you stay here because he fears that if he lets you go out, his son is going to die because you're not fit to make it in this world right now. That's sad. And that's on you. I'm not going to give you any excuses. There's nothing wrong with you. You graduated from high school. You got everything that everybody else has except for a fucking backbone and some ambition. I went through a rebellious phase. You know what you should have got as a rebellious phase? A fucking door locked in your face. Your rebellious ass should have either went to the military or be in the park somewhere. But there's no way you should be back in your father's house rebelling.
Well, I wouldn't have been let back in if I was still rebelling. But I mean, okay, I want to take as much responsibility as I can. And that's what I've been doing.
Then do it. Stop working 7 hours a day. Get off of YouTube. Stop watching BitChute. Stop doing all this. Go get 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, whatever you need to do. Move the fuck out. Live in a car. Live in a U-Haul somewhere. Go get roommates. Grow the fuck up, man. Move to a different state. Stop giving yourself so many excuses. How about this? You ready for this? This is what I really think you need. You want the solution to your life? I'll give it to you in one sentence. You ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Join the army.
I tried. I can't.
Why?
Because during my rebellious phase, I
No, I don't.
I have HIV, so I can't. That's why.
Well, sorry to hear that, man. So now you've got that on you.
I know I need discipline, and I can't count on my dad.
If you know it, but before you need discipline, you need income. Why are you not working 12, 16-hour days?
I guess I'm just, I don't want to say I'm lazy because that doesn't feel right.
Well, that's what it is, bro. You don't want to say it because that's what it is. You called into my show on a completely different topic. So you see, your father should be doing this to you, but he fears for you. I don't. I fear for you if you don't do this. I fear for you if your father dies because you can't afford to take care of yourself. And they will let you be homeless with HIV. You can be out there with the rest of them. You're wasting time.
Well, I'm getting a car on Monday. Not to say I don't know if I'm just gonna go live in a car, but I'm getting a car, and that could help.
How's that gonna help?
Because
who's getting you a car?
One of my gardening clients who I worked with 2 days ago, the son, I'm getting like 2 referrals every month.
Who is getting you a car?
One of my gardening clients' brother is giving me I'm actually paying for a car by working, and he's going to give it to me, and I'm going to work over the next few months. It's
All
only
right. So can you
to work.
afford the insurance, gas, and the maintenance on this car?
I plan to. I have.
Not
I bought
plan
gold.
to, not
No,
plan.
no. I have. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I
All right,
bought
dude. All
gold,
right. Here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing.
and I'm going to sell it.
Listen. No. No. You don't need an expensive a car. Mass transit is your friend. You're irresponsible and lazy. And every
Well,
time I ask you is somebody has to do something for you. Somebody has to give you a car. You're you're closer to 30 than you are to 20. Knock it off. I don't care. Here's what you do. You get up tomorrow morning and you put in applications at every fast food place in your neighborhood that you can walk to or ride a bus to. You go to every place that's hiring and you put in applications. Stock Boy, groceries, every place you see a legal Mexican go, you have your ass there too. You apply it everywhere because you have citizenship. And then after you apply at every one of the businesses in your 5-mile, 10-mile radius, you take your ass down to the day labor center and you stand out there with the rest of the illegal immigrants and you work for day labor or go to a Home Depot. You got too much pride to be this damn broke. You do whatever you have to do. That's what men do. Instead of somebody always having to do something for you. You want it to be easy. You want it to happen on your way. Well, how am I supposed to get there? Ain't my job to figure out your life. All I know is this. You don't make enough money to be working 7 hours a day. That's your fucking problem. And calling me up asking me about what some motherfucker on BitChute said about interracial dating and what I think is one of the craziest fucking things I can think of for somebody in your position. You're deluded. Has nothing to do with your life. Has your father ever told you this?
Told me what?
That you need to get your shit together.
He doesn't have it together enough to tell me that.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
My dad doesn't have his stuff together at all, so he doesn't have the awareness.
Okay.
To tell me that.
So
Only
place you
only
live
my mom
the place you live in, who pays for it?
My mom. My dad probably is about to lose this place if it was up to him. I'm just saying, it's true.
You live with your father.
Yeah, I live in my family house where I grew up, but my mom lives in Harlem. And, if it wasn't for her bailing him out, there was property taxes and mortgages that were laid on that would probably it would have been game
Are
over.
your mother and father married?
Yeah, they're married, but they're not really together.
Well, I didn't ask if they were together. What was the question?
Yes, they're married.
So what's hers is his.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the nerve of you to say he doesn't have his shit together. He has a wife. You don't. He has a wife that he picked well enough to allow his son, who's a deadbeat, to stay with him. And you're judging him.
I'm just telling you what she tells me.
Listen, I don't
So
give a fuck what she says to him. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. You judged your father. He doesn't have his shit together. That's not the real point. You don't have your shit together. See, I ask questions because I read people for a living. And for you to come out of your mouth saying something about your father is way, way out of part. You don't have any room to be judging anybody, dude. Zero. That's why I said at the beginning, you need to get off the internet, stop worrying about all this other stuff, and get your shit together. But you actually said, my dad doesn't have his stuff together, so he can't tell me anything. Really?
You asked me how, I didn't have the backbone.
I asked him if he told you need to get your shit together. That's what I asked you. That's what I asked you.
And I was
Look
okay,
here, man.
well, to what
I'll tell you what I tell you. Don't talk over me, dude.
Sorry.
You too broke to afford to pay a session, so when you don't talk over me. I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. You do this shit with your dad, not me.
I'm sorry.
I don't give a fuck what your father's situation is, your mother's situation. I don't care what your situation is. You're still responsible for yourself. All you got is a bunch of goddamn excuses. But you're going to stop calling my show with this bullshit, I tell you that. I've told you what you need to do. Because
right,
if your
well,
father were to pass, if your mother were to pass, could you pay the rent on the place you live right now?
no.
Then that's all you need to be worried about. That's the only fucking thing that needs to be on your mind. Not how fucked up your HIV status is, not all the mistakes you made, not what your daddy did, not what your mama did. The fact that you can't even pay for the roof over your goddamn head. If one of these two people who were in the coronavirus situation in New York where everybody else died. It's the only thing that needs to be coming out your mouth. That needs to be your only North Star. You as a grown damn 27-year-old man can't even pay for a roof over your head. And you got the nerve to be calling into YouTube shows? Listening to BitChute videos?
Okay. Sure.
What
I
you
will
gonna say
use
to that? Other than you're right.
that's what I'm saying. I guess there's a reason I'm calling you. I respect what you're saying, and
Okay,
I know that I
you know how
need.
you show you respect it? Go do what I said. Put in applications around you. Get your pride to the side and stop being so goddamn proud. Go get a job. Go get as many jobs as you can get. Because you have no skills. Because you're gonna tell me you got a skill to do some yard work down in Jamaica somewhere. I told you when you called into the show, you need some sort of certification because you're an unskilled labor, dude. You're unskilled labor. People swim the Rio Grande to do and come do the same jobs. You're a fruit picker. You have no skills. None. Zero. And you're wasting time. You're almost 30 years old with HIV. No skills. Who in the fuck is supposed to take care of an unskilled laborer in your situation?
No, I want to take care of myself.
How? You have skills to make minimum wage. You can lie to yourself, but you make $90 a day, $100. That's minimum. That's really minimum wage in your area.
There was a guy who I think
Dude, there's no talking. All right, man, I'm done. No. You still want to talk? You'll be in a.
I was just talking.
Yeah, get a ditch somewhere. Nope. We've allowed young guys like this to be too lazy for too long, and sometimes life's got to teach you. He lives in Long Island, and all he is excuses. You're broke. See, when we were younger, we didn't have the internet and all these distractions. We had to get out. There was no come stay in the house and get your shit together. Nope. Yeah, some people need to fall apart. Yeah, sadly, and I understand. And before people may think that's a little harsh, I've counseled. I was alcohol and drug counselor. I've heard I've heard worse, far worse. He's in denial. He has to hit his rock bottom. He's looking for answers, but the answer is in order to get better, you must admit you are powerless over alcohol or drugs. You got to admit. Then you got to do the steps. At what age do you finally get it? Still working on it. You keep on getting it. Yeah, I've had 100 jobs. Yeah, that's right, dude. Ashley says I had 100 jobs. See, yeah, because men, where I come from, we work. We work. A man is what you do. That's why, and all those 100 jobs means I can turn on the YouTube at any moment and be talking and be consistent. I'm never satisfied with just doing just this. Because a man is supposed to get out there and make shit happen. Even if he has nothing, he's supposed to make something. Powerless over your addiction. I don't begrudge anybody who anyway. let me round this back to the broadcast. Taboo topics. All our taboo topics, all our taboo issues, where we tend to stand in our own way. And somebody asked, when did you get your stuff together? When I finally stopped being in my own way. Start admitting that I didn't know everything, that I could be wrong, that I was misunderstood. When I looked at my acceptance and abandonment issues, this issue, that issue, whatever, when I forgave myself, forgave people I need to forgive, allow myself to make mistakes, not be so hard on myself, but demand the best for myself. Wash, rinse, repeat. Nobody gets out of this life without a bunch of mud on us and dents and dings. We all doing the best we can. But the problem is we got to do the best. But as a man, you don't get anybody saying it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. I understand what the young man was saying. And his mother and father care for him. But the world just looks at you as just a soul. And that's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. But swallow it you must. Swallow it you must. And you guys have to understand, I've had multiple shows. He's called in multiple days. He called on Tuesday for a business show. He didn't book a session. He didn't go to my website and book a session. Okay. All right. No, he doesn't need guidance. No, he's beyond needing guidance. He needs a foot in his ass. That's why I said the military. The military is a good place for a lot of these dudes. Manhood is what a lot of these dudes need. No more guidance. Guidance is you need to do this. Guidance doesn't talk about and let you talk your way through. The basic training and the foot in your ass has done a hell of a lot for men. That's why you see guys who go to basic training and come back, they go in as boys and come out as men. All right. Hello. No more guidance. Hello. I'm going to unmute you. I need you to be ready to go. Mute all the YouTube channels in the background. Caller, what's your name? Caller, what's your name?
Hello. My name is Kevin too.
What can I help you with, Kevin?
Are
you calling on the topic?
I'm staying on topic. I really resonate with what you're saying, but I was just thinking, or rather just inquisitive about where that drive comes from, because sometimes it dries out sometimes.
So you're not calling about the taboo subject?
Not really, just referring to the previous caller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you maintain your drive?
Yeah, consistency, because I feel like that's the major part where most people miss on.
Were you raised by your father?
Yeah, I was raised in an African family. Actually, I had my mother in the house. She was a stay-home mom.
Okay.
And
so
my dad used to do all the work.
Listen to me. I got other people. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Are you still in school?
Yeah. In my final year.
Okay. What are you going to school for?
Computer science engineering.
Okay. Where drive comes from is from work ethic. You got to put the hours in. It's the matter of fact of in this country, people don't miss many meals. These are first world problems. So when I listen to guys complain, I'm like, you got clean running water, a stable power grid. These are first world problems.
Yeah.
Drive comes from a necessity to have something done. So when you get out, one of the best things you can do for yourself is get in the habit of getting up early, going to bed late, living on 5 hours of sleep and filling the day.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you're not really on topic, but I wanted to try to answer that for you.
Yeah, that was perfect,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
I really appreciate
No
that.
problem,
Thank you.
man. All the best.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye bye.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, guys, drive is nothing really special. It's getting up early and going to bed late. I mean, success has a formula. When you look at the men who have been successful, see, I'm going to do a show on. I did that show about marriage, and what I should have done is an add-on show. Marriage is for rich people. The kind of marriage I'm talking about is for rich people. It's not for middle class folks. Rich people, $300,000 or more. And marriage ain't for guys to make $75,000 a year. Not the kind of marriage I'm talking about. And sadly, many people want to be rich, but they don't want to do the work. Okay, we got 3 people in the chat in the waiting to get in. I'm going to try to let you guys in one at a time. Please be ready to go. Mute your YouTube channels in the background. And caller, what's your first name? Audio is connecting. Caller, what's your first name?
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, what's your first name?
Hey, I'm JR.
What do you have on the topic, JR?
I got the original topic that you're talking about as far as like women and that whole thing and accountability and all that stuff. I agree with what you're saying. I called in like a while back on another show that you did. But I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying.
So what you call? So what you call in for? So what were you calling in for?
Well, just on the earlier topic you posted or you talked about, I agree on that. And then I wanted to kind of ask you a question if you don't mind.
Depends on what it is. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, my situation, I'm in welding school. I got my own car. It's paid off. I got my own place. I'm in an apartment. I'm renting, obviously. And I'm kind of transitioning back from a previous career I was doing. I just got out the military. So I'm kind of in like this limbo space right now. I'm not really trying to be, I'm a blue collar guy. Like that's my lane. I'm not trying to be like a lawyer or a doctor. So
what's the question?
I'm kind of, but I do want to get, I'm still kind of, I feel like I'm stuck right now. I'm not really going nowhere.
How old are you?
Because 20s, I'll be 27 this year.
And when will you be finished with welding school?
Probably either end of this year or next year because of the whole like virus thing. The schedule got all mixed up.
How long does it typically take to finish a welding program?
Between 6 to 9 months, depending on. For the one I'm doing, probably around 9 months. So
you're not going to finish till next year?
Yeah, because I started earlier this year, but and I was like a month in or 2 months in, and then like this whole like quarantine thing happened.
Right. But when I'm trying, so if it takes 9 months, and you're saying you're not going to finish till next year, how are you going to make money in between?
Oh yeah, so I got I have a little bit saved up, and I got a part-time job. I make enough to where I could cover my my bills.
So if you're not in school, right? You're not in school right now, right? Because of the CV.
Oh yeah. I'm back. I'm in a state where they opening everything back up, so I'm back in school.
Okay, so I want to be clear. If you're in school and it only takes 9 months, why would it take you to the end of next year to finish?
Because they extended it because of the stuff that happened. I was out of school for like 2 months.
Okay. So be clear, is school back in full time?
Yeah, I'm back full time, back in the lab learning.
So why won't it just take you 9 months?
Because that's how long the program is. It's about 9 months long.
I know. So it's May. Why not be finished by the end of the year or the beginning of the next year? Why the end of 2021?
I misspoke. I meant the end of this year or beginning of next year.
Okay, it wasn't making sense. You said the end of next year. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. All right.
Yeah, that's my bad. I misspoke.
Uh, how many hours are you working in your part-time job?
I work about 5 to 6.
5 to 6 hours. And how many hours are you in school?
About I'd say about 8 hours. It's like it's an accelerated program. It's not like you
Are you
did
in?
through
But
college.
you're in 8 hours a day every day,
Yeah, 5 days a week.
and it's still going to take you to the end of the year.
Yeah, because I'm learning different processes. Like I'm learning 5 different types of welding. So each
Okay. So when you get out of school, how much are you going to be making?
I'm a beginner entry level welder with little experience. Depending on what type of process I'm doing, you could either go.
Just give me the number.
Depending on
Just
what
give
I'm
me the
doing
number, man.
and
Just
where
the short number.
I could be in between 18 and 24, depending
18
on
to
if I'm
24. What is that? Dollars an hour?
Yeah, dollars an hour.
All right. $18 an hour is $36,000 a year. In what city?
I'm in Houston.
Okay. And you're 20 what?
26.
You're broke. You're broke. All this work, all this back and forth to be broke. $36,000 a year in Houston and 26 is broke. You can go get a job at Circle K, Quick Trip, or Racetrack. Make $14 an hour. And that's $28,000 a year with one job. You can get another part-time job at another convenience store and make an additional $14,000 a year. In 12-hour days, you could make $42,000 a year. You can do that at 20 years old. See how simple that is?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that.
No, because welding is not a career to where you make a lot of money. So you're gonna work $36,000 a year to maybe $50,000 a year. All right, then you'll be broke. You'll be living just paycheck to paycheck, enough for one person until your body breaks down. Because $50,000 a year don't get it.
I was thinking about just using this for just a few years, get some dollars in my pocket, then work towards my A&P license. What you
need to do is, number one, when I ask you simple, direct questions, and you really have a problem answering direct questions, and this tends to come from something. Were you raised by mom and dad?
Yeah.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
Are they still married?
No.
Were they ever married?
Yeah.
How long? And did they divorce when you were young?
Yeah, when I was young.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Why aren't you going to the military?
Why did I go?
Why aren't you going?
Oh, I did 8 years. I served 8 years in the military.
Okay. Why did you stop?
For the reasons you just listed, the wear and tear on your body, mental health, just a lot of list of reasons.
You did 10. How much would it? If you'd have did? Can you go back?
No.
All right. So you did 8 years in the military, and didn't there something that happened to the 10-year mark and then the 20-year mark?
No. So at the 20-year mark, you can get a retirement, and I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but I know you get a full retirement. And then at the 15-year mark, you get a partial retirement.
So basically, you went for 8 years, and then you stopped to go make basically low middle class money with no benefits.
Yeah, basically.
It's not a smart plan, man. That's why I say, so all this talking, I'll be finished at the end of next year and at the beginning of next year. After all that, and how much is it going to cost you? How much does it cost you to be in welding school?
Oh, I got the GI Bill, so it's free for me.
Okay, so and a lot of times black men do this. We'll go to these little schools, welding, barber, and at the end of the day, you still got a $50,000 a year job. And that's a lot of money when you're 21, but it's nothing when you're 40. So you got to figure out how you're going to end up getting that money up. And one of the first things that you need to do is understand what the job market really is and how much money you need to be making. Because the military sound like it probably would have been a better option. But if you burn that bridge, man, you put yourself back out in the middle. You put yourself back out in blue collar labor. And there's a lot of guys right there, man. That's what the heroin is tearing the Midwest up with all these guys out of work. How you going to get out? How you going to make more money than the average person that has experience? That's for you to figure out. So if you came talk about, motivation and feeling stuck, due respect, you can't afford to be stuck.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm keeping it going, but I'm saying for that like you said, I'm trying to get to that next level, right? That's why I'm kind of picking your brain a little bit.
Welders don't get to the next level. Business owners do. See, there's no free money. And I don't know why you stopped the military. That seemed like it would have been a better option. But you put yourself wherever you stopped, you put yourself in a position where now you're going to have to figure out, I don't know, how to turn this into a business to where, and you have no business training. I mean, you put yourself on a pretty tough path. And there's no free money. I keep going to that because I hear black men always talk about, I'm always trying to take it to the next level. How?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Research. Well, you pick the job. Research the market. Research what it looks like. But especially during this downtime. You picked it for a reason. Why you picked it, it's up to you. And most of the time, I'll be honest, a lot of black men just pick something just to be doing something, just to be making some money. I'll just do this and I'll figure it out. All right. But no one gets rich as a welder.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
You thought you were going to get rich?
I was like, let's not get rich, but I thought like you said, it's something, get my hands into something, get a skill, get a certificate and figure it out from there. Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking on that.
But again, dime a dozen. All right, man. Best of luck.
Appreciate the help, man. Thanks.
All right. I'm gonna cycle through here, guys. I don't know who's in the chat room, but if you're not calling on the topic in the chat room, in the waiting room, if you're not calling in the waiting room, please cycle off. If you're not on the topic, please cycle off. Pipe welding makes bank. Okay, that's good advice. But understand that when I say there's no free money, manual labor, the days of that kind of guys making kind of money is gone. It would be better to go into trucking than to go into that kind of stuff. Now, one skilled individual don't make money. The way you make money is build companies, build businesses. But still, you have to go get contracts and deals with other people, and that's a skill. So, all right, guys, it's past midnight. Let me see what these two are talking about. I'm gonna shut this down because I think we're done. Think we're done. Tony. Going once. Tony going twice. Tony Let me see if I can unmute you. Tony.
Hello? Yeah, Kevin Samuels.
Are you on the, what do you have on the topic?
Okay, basically, I just want, what do you mean by topic?
The topic of the show.
Basically, what I want to say about the topic was that, oh, you mean taboo topics?
Yeah, that's the show.
Is it okay if I want to talk about that?
No. I want to get to that. If you need anything else, man, call in on those shows or book a session. Appreciate it. No, guys, we can't keep doing that. If you guys want to talk about something else, please respect my stuff. Call in on the day I do that show or book a session. Anthony. Going once. Anthony. Going twice. Anthony. Connecting to audio. Anthony. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Anthony, what do you got on the topic?
Yeah, how you doing, sir? I just found out about your show basically 2 days ago.
Cool. What do you have on the topic?
What
do you have on the topic of Taboo Topics?
Oh, well, basically, okay. Well, I play Division I basketball for University of Maryland.
Do you have anything on the topic that we're talking about tonight? Taboo Topics.
No, I was just trying to talk about this. Like, I got $20K that I wanted, like, I need help with. Like,
okay.
Can you tell me, like, as a college athlete?
All right, Anthony. Okay. Well, the first thing I can tell you to do, if you want, I need you guys to pay attention. I'm doing a show about taboo topics. If you want just general advice, I have a service for that. I can't just have everybody calling in with what they want to talk about.
No, I just came on the show like maybe 20 minutes ago.
Okay, well, but you called into the show, so no. Young men, young black men, understand something. You don't just jump on the show to talk about what you want to talk about. There's a subject. See, go back to Chaos Reign. Being cheap. You just don't, there's a link that says book a session for advice, whatever. You want some advice one-on-one? Please book a session. I don't do sessions for free. I'm talking about a particular topic. If you want to talk about the topic and then I give you advice based on that, that's one thing. I'm going to get to the point where I'm stopping picking up guys because it seems like guys have this the hardest. You want to just, I know what you want to talk about, but fuck all that. Let me tell you what I need. No, that's not how we work. Yeah. But it happens to everybody on YouTube, guys. It's not just me, so. Not just me. Here you go. There's the advice line. You want some general advice? If you want some business coaching or something like that, you want some business or career advice, use that link. And if you want to get your virtual consult, there you go. That's how you do it, guys. All right. This show will probably be residing on Patreon. I just uploaded a Patreon video. By the way, every Monday, 6:30 Eastern, Patreon live stream. Content you'll only see there. Let's see who's in there. Fitness Mom, what's going on? Stacy on, giving you something because you're running out of patience. I'm not running out of patience, man. What it is, here's the thing. Let me tell you, this is what it is. I expect young men, to try to be on code. I don't expect you to be where I am. But I expect us to act online the way we would act in public. And like this, let's say if your favorite whoever was in person signing autographs or whatever, you wouldn't come in and then try to cut to the line and say, yeah, man, but I want you to do this. There's a protocol. Because how we do things as men matters. How we do things as men matter. And honestly, you got a lot of women in here kind of looking and say, hmm, hmm. So I give them, I mean, and it's not just with me. A lot of people on YouTube, folks who just try to get in with what they want to get in. It's part of being in talk business. Tom Likas used to talk about it, so I don't get upset, but you just kind of keep it moving. Kind of keep it moving. You say you're trying to make the necessary changes. Ladies, understand at the end of the day, if you only listen to the men that are related to you or you're having sex with, what how do you feel about the rest of the men? That's what a lot of brothers think about. They're like, well, damn. You know, you hear women say, I don't mind being submissive to my man. Okay, well, what about the rest of the other 20 million of us? And I'll leave this with us. Who leads in any community? The men are supposed to lead. In the black community, can you honestly say the black men are leading? Number one. Number two, you love black men, but do you really like them? And that question tends to trip a lot of sisters up because, like, you know what? I never thought about it. What do you like about black men? And then, if you haven't seen that show, a lot of times, you know, I like, just you don't know. A lot of black men feel like you don't really know them. So that's something to get worked on. Start learning how. So when I hear Nicole Michelle and people like that say, smile, just go out today and smile at every brother you see, and you get women tearing her apart, you got to practice on every black man you see. When you see a black man, is an opportunity for you to improve the way in which you see the black male image. We have let me say this: we have a collective ethnic image, and here's why it matters to me. I've had people ask me, Kevin, why do you care? You're a 6 foot tall, da 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 da. You don't have a lot of these problems. No, personally, I don't. Never have. But I'm an image consultant. And here's the thing, women need you to understand something. Non-black people look at how black women speak about black men, and they take their cues and they say, well, they think like this. Well, if their women are saying this about them, it must be true. Because they don't deal with that from their women like this. You know, the subject of white supremacy and white fragility, a lot of times people are involved in their own stuff. So imagine imagine Laverne, the Philly girl, imagine you're just out and about one day and you're in Starbucks or something, and you were just in line, and then you're just talking about, yeah, but you know, these black men out here ain't about shit. These black men ain't nothing. They on the down low. They ain't working. They in jail or in prison. Da, 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 da. And you're talking to your homegirl and having a conversation on the phone or in person. Everybody within earshot hears you, and they take that in and say, well, you know, she's a black woman. She would know better than I do. So when they see a black man, don't you think that they are filtering how they view that black man through what they've heard from black women? Yes, our ethnic reputation precedes us. Everyone's does. So how you speak about black men matters. Black men, I don't care about Birth of a Nation and cops and all that other stuff. What has done more damage to the black male image is the color purple. What's love got to do with it? Waiting to Exhale. Any movie where you can see black men being oppressive and da 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 da, stuff that's never happened. Black women have never been oppressed by black men. So when you hear a lot of women talk about the issues, it's never stuff that a black man has done to him. It's stuff you've heard somebody say. So my point is, as a woman, if you want a black man. If you want to be married, you want a happy, healthy relationship, well, I don't care what you call it. You have to change the way in which you look at the collective of black men. Totally. You have to look at black men in a loving, caring, agreeable, compassionate, sympathetic, good faith kind of way. You can't look at black men as waiting for the other shoe to drop, because it always will. You can't walk into interactions with black men waiting to be offended. Oh, yeah, I knew as soon as this brother said he went to college and worked in corporate America, I knew exactly what he'd be. You don't know that. People asking for a link. We need a part 2 to this. I'll cut the show off because people calling in about what they want. I'm part 2. Maybe we'll do part 2 on Sunday. We got to get a little bit more refined on Fitness Mom. But I want to hear from some of the women, because I know that there are a lot of women out there over 34 years old, who are really looking for who really got questions. And really they've racked their brain and they can't see what's going on. And it has a lot to do with the men who are around you. Sunday, we need to figure out how to improve the way in which you see black men. But here's a modest suggestion. Change your social media intake. Start getting offended when you hear somebody talk about black men in general. Now, let's say you hear a woman say, me and Roger did this, and Roger did this to me, and and she wants to go in on Roger, that's it. But if you hear black men are like Roger, if you start talking about us in a global sense, start getting offended by that. Because like it or not, it makes it easy for other people to dehumanize us. Because they think, well, they're their mothers, they're their girlfriends, they're their lovers. They must know better. Justine Brown. What's wrong with Justine Brown? Hold on. What's Justine Brown talking about? Let's see what Justine Brown's talking about. Kevin, you're a misogynist. You're right. I am. I'm a misogynist. Yep. Mm-hmm. She's right. I am a misogynist. I would love, and I'm full of shit. Well, no, actually, I'm not. I took a dump earlier today. Then I took a nice shower. But yeah, I'm a misogynist. If that means, I hold women and men to a standard, then great. But now, how's that going to change? But my question is, you, Justine, what does your husband think about me? What does your husband say about me? What does your husband have to say about anything Oh. What does your husband have to say? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're probably not married. Well, what is your boyfriend? Yeah. Well, I guess I will look like a misogynist to a woman like yourself. A female like yourself. I didn't mean to offend the women. To a female like yourself. Because anyone coming in and saying a man is full of, when you had women coming to the panel say, thank you for saying what you have to say, what I need you to understand is, ladies, who is more likely going to help you? A guy that sits here and try to talk to you, or Angela Bassett's mean ass over there who had to be timed out? But I get it, Justine. It's hard looking at all this sexual chocolate, looking at this 6'4" full of sexiness with all this over here, knowing never in your wildest dreams could you ever get a man like in my chat room, knowing that on your best day you could never get the dudes that come around here, knowing that it's you and the rabbit or the bullet for the rest of your life. Not because you may not be in a decent looking woman, maybe even attractive woman, but your attitude and your disposition is just ugly. Because what feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, agreeable, nice, good faith woman would come in and say something like that? Only a masculine, angry, just Rasputia type woman will come in and just be so vulgar. And I feel for you, sis. I mean, it must suck to have to come and talk to a man that you don't know and just spew all this at him and curse at him and say he's full of this and he's that. I know, it's rough. Ethiopified, you didn't miss nothing with your cute self. Ethiopified, you know what? Maybe we can hook you up with Justine. Why don't you go holler at my girl Ethiopified and she can help you get sexy. She can help you learn how to be feminine and nice. I got plenty of them in the chat room. Some of them agree with some of the stuff I say. Some of them don't. Some of them think I could change the way I think. But overall, most of the women that come here and say, you know what? You're not a bad guy. And to be called a misogynist and full of crap? Wow. I guess. Well, ladies, gentlemen, until Sunday, we are out. Oh, let me ask you, ladies, how many ladies would love to, sisters, how many of you ladies would love this? I was going to do a show about white women, but I didn't want to piss y'all off. I don't know how to talk about it. That's the real thing. Ethiopified, Stacey on, Fitness Mom. I don't know how to talk about it. I'm going to be 100% transparent. There's an issue that I know that's out there, but I don't know how to talk about it in a way that won't trigger or offend the women I don't want to trigger or offend. I'm talking about you guys that come over here and watch normally. I think it would even be triggering to you. So instead of doing that, if I can't think of a way to do it, I'm going to try. How about if I come at it this way? What if I said how to become the sexiest, hottest, most beautiful Black woman you could be, like in your own skin, with your own hair, with your, not having to look like the dominant society. An image consultant's take on Black female beauty. You see what I'm saying? How about we do a show like that? So when women can call in, like I told that one sister, "Ooh, yeah, I like your skin and a little jabroni and that." She was shocked. She had never heard somebody say that. Well, that's from an image consultant standpoint. I'm like, yeah, you got something to work with. What do you guys think about something like that? Is rip the Band-Aid off? I don't know. I don't have a problem ripping the Band-Aid off. I just don't know if it's going to be productive. I don't know if it's going to be productive. And even if it is going to be productive, it's always better to give and then give, then take something back. That, what I realize with most Black women is hitting at a point to where it can be looked as a cheap shot. I don't ever want to cheap shot anybody, because I don't want y'all cheap shotting men. So we'll figure it out. But I didn't want to. I've been struggling with trying to figure out how to talk about it. I was like, you know what? Until it clears itself out, maybe I don't need to talk about it. All right, I'll be working on that one. Guys, I got yours coming up too. We may end up switching to Tuesday shows to a different way of talking about business. We're going to still talk about business, but maybe it's a little too advanced. So maybe we may step it back, start talking about how to start thinking like a businessman instead of what business idea do you have. Meet everybody kind of where they are. We'll see what it goes in, because at the end of the day, I want it to be helpful to everybody. All right. Peace out. Yo, shout out to 804 Junie Boy.
in this moment.
Good show, people.
It's not hard to fool me.
Stay safe tomorrow on Suit Saturday.
'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell your good lies.
Yes, I'm going to read the super chats on the next show. We're already down for tonight. I can't go back. Thank you.
Susceptible